Hey my friends, welcome to this Vinyasa flow. Today we will move through a nice and gentle practice, just stretching out the body and warming it up. If you have any props in your practice, you might want to grab a couple of blocks, but don't worry if you don't have any, you can still practice along. So enjoy and follow the practice. Today we will start in child's pose. So we'll take our knees as wide as the mat, and our big toes to touch, walking our hands out in front, allowing our hips to sink back to our heels and our forehead to the ground. And just breathe here. You can close down the eyes if that's comfortable for you. And just notice your breath as it moves in and out of your body. You may notice your spine lengthening as you inhale. A nice release and a nice stretch for the back here. Gently opening the hips. Just connect with your body now as you breathe in and out naturally. Just feel that connection between your breath and your body. On your next inhale, just come up to all fours. Bring your knees in so they're hip width apart, your feet are hip width apart. Your hips want to be over your knees and your shoulders over your wrists. And we'll do a few rounds of cat and cow. So as you inhale, drop the stomach. As you look forward, your heart opens. And exhale, pressing into the ground with your feet and your hands, rounding your spine. Inhaling for cow, dropping the stomach, chest opens, looking forward, and exhale, pressing into the ground, tailbone and chin tuck for cat. Inhale, dropping your stomach, looking forward, and exhale, pressing into the ground, rounding your spine. Two more like this, moving with your breath as you inhale. And as you exhale, last one here, inhaling, dropping your stomach, and exhale, rounding your spine, gently waking up the spine here, and then just inhale, coming back to a neutral position. As you walk your hands out a bit further in front, tucking both your toes, taking your hips back to your heels, and then pressing back to down dog. Your feet want to be about hip width apart. Your hands want to be shoulder width apart. And a slight bend in your knees, or bend as much as you need to here. Your hips go towards the sky. And you're welcome to close down your eyes or look between your ankles or your knees. And try and draw your armpits towards each other here. This will help to take your shoulders away from your ears. Just a couple of more breaths here now. Inhaling, bending your knees, look forward. You can step to the front of your mat, your feet hip width apart, or they can be a little bit wider. And just exhale, forward fold, grabbing opposite elbows with your hands. Just allow your head and your neck to rest. You can gently sway from right to left here, forward and back. You can shake your head no, and then nod your head yes. A nice release for the back and the hamstrings here. If you want to create more length in your spine, you can take your arms in line with your ears. And just notice how your spine lengthens. Again, just move in whatever way feels comfortable for you. And as exhale, just release your hands to the ground. Just heel toe your feet in hip width apart if they're not already there. And we'll inhale, bring your hands to your shins or your thighs for Uttanasana, looking forward. And then exhale, forward fold, bending your knees for Uttanasana. Inhale, bending your knees, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. And inhaling, bringing your arms above your head, your palms to touch. And just exhale here, grabbing your left wrist with your right hand. Inhale, create some length in your spine. And exhale, lean to your right hand side, your hips go to the left. And have a few breaths here. Breathing into that side body. And your next inhale, just coming back to centre. And switching hands, your left hand grabs your right wrist. Inhale, create some length. And exhale, taking your hips to the right as you lean to the left. Breathing into that right side body now. And inhale, coming back to centre. As you exhale, bring your hands behind your back, interlacing your fingers. As you inhale, take your arms out behind you, looking up, open your chest. And then exhale, bending your knees, bringing your chest to meet your thighs, your arms overhead. And if you can here, try to keep your palms together. It will help to keep your shoulders away from your ears. And bend your knees as much as you need here. And then eventually, as you start to open your hamstrings, you can straighten your legs a little more. And you'll be able to take your hands further over your head. But don't force or push anything here. Just allow your breath to do the work. And inhale, just release as you look forward. Exhale, releasing your hands, bringing them down to the floor. As you inhale, sweep the floor, taking your arms above your head. For chair pose, Utkatasana, looking forward. And exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Round your spine, tucking your chin. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, flat back, look forward. And exhale, planting your palms, stepping back to down dog. Just a few breaths here. It's like bending your knees, taking your hips to the sky. Inhale, just gently bend your knees. And as you exhale, take your left heel towards the ground and your right knee bends. And as you inhale, take your right leg to the sky for three-legged dog. Your toes point down to the ground, keeping your hips nice and square. As you exhale, you can bend that knee, toes point towards your buttock and open up your hip. Try to keep your shoulders square here. And then inhale, straighten your right leg, squaring off your hips. And then exhale, bringing your foot between your hands and lowering your left knee to the floor and tucking your left toes. As you inhale, bringing your heart forward. And then exhale, taking your hips back, coming onto the heel of your right foot and folding over your right leg. If you need to use blocks here in your practice, you're welcome to grab them and just bring the floor closer to you. And just do what's right for your body. And just have a few breaths here. Keep trying to draw your right hip back, your left hip forward. And as you inhale, allow your heart to come forward towards your right foot. And as you exhale, just hinge at your hips. You should feel a nice stretch in your right hamstring, in your right calf. And just keep breathing. And then just inhale, coming forward, bending your right knee, placing your left hand on the ground. As you inhale, take your right arm to the sky. You can look over your right shoulder if it's comfortable, or just keep your head at neutral. Allow your shoulders to rest away from your ears if they're crunching up. And then exhale, bringing your right hand to the ground, tucking your left toes, and pressing back to down dog. Just inhale here. And then exhale. And inhale, bend both knees slightly. And as you exhale, take your right knee to the ground, your left knee bends even more. And then inhale, left leg to the sky, three-legged dog, your toes point to the ground, squaring off your hips. And then exhale, bending your knee, toes point towards your buttocks, opening your hip. Try to keep your shoulders square if you can. And then inhale, straighten your leg, keeping your hips square. And then exhale, bringing your left foot between your hands, dropping your right knee to the floor, and tucking your toes. As you bring your heart forward, opening your chest, and exhale, taking your hips back, coming onto the heel of your left foot as your toes point to the sky. Use your blocks if you need to bring the ground closer to you. Just keep breathing here. Try to draw your left hip back as your right hip comes forward, squaring off your hips. And with each inhale, allow your heart to come forward towards your foot. And then as you exhale, just hinge at the hip. Try to keep a nice flat spine as much as you can here. Feeling a nice stretch on your left hamstring and calf. Then inhale, coming forward, bending your left knee, planting your right arm. As you inhale, take your left arm to the sky. Allow your shoulders to drop away from your ears if they're crunching up. And if it's okay on your neck, you can look up to your left hand. Or just keep your head in a neutral position. And then exhale, planting your left hand on the ground, tucking your right toes, and pressing back to down dog. As you inhale, dropping both knees to the floor as you look forward. And then exhale, bending at your elbows, keeping them close to your body, chin and chest to the floor. And then inhale, glide forward, and tucking your toes. And we'll take our hands off the mat here, keep looking down at the ground. As we inhale for Bhujangasana, baby cobra. And then exhale, lowering our chest back to the ground. Two more like this. Inhale, lifting our chest off. Keep looking down to lengthen the neck. And then exhale, just release. Last one here as you inhale, chest lifts off the ground. And then exhale, planting both palms underneath your shoulders, tucking your toes. Taking your hips back to your heels and pressing back to down dog. Inhale, bend both knees slightly. As you exhale, drop your left knee to the ground, your right knee bends. And then inhale, right leg to the sky, three-legged dog, your toes point to the ground. Exhale, bending your right knee, your toes point, opening up your hip. Inhale, straightening your leg, three-legged dog. And then exhale, coming forward for pigeon. So your right knee to your right wrist, and your right ankle to your left wrist. And before you get set up here, to make sure your right ankle is flexed to protect your right knee. And if you need to bring the ground closer to you, you can place blocks or cushions underneath your right buttock here. And take your hands as wide as the mat. Come onto your fingertips for Hasta Bandha. And we'll inhale, look forward. And then exhale, take our elbows wide as we lower our stomach, chest and chin. Then inhale, coming up one vertebrae at a time. Elbows tuck in, our chest and heart open as we look up. And then exhale, taking our elbows wide. Stomach, chest and chin to the floor. And inhale, rolling back up, one vertebrae at a time. Elbows tuck in, our heart opens. Two more like this with your own breath as you exhale and lower. And inhale, rising back up. Last one here as you exhale. And then inhale, coming back up. And this might be plenty for you to stay here. If you feel like you can stretch a little bit further, you can walk your hands out in front. And you can stay here. Or if you wish, you can go even lower. And rest your head on your forearms. And just keep breathing here. And try to square off your hips here. So if you can take your right hip back, your left hip forward. You may notice more of a stretch in your right glute. Remember to keep your right ankle flexed here to protect your right knee. And just keep breathing. And just inhale, slowly coming back up. Remove any blocks if you're sitting on one. And then drop onto your hips, taking your left leg out long and bringing the sole of your right foot into your left groin. Left toes point to the sky, coming onto both sitting bones here. As you inhale, take your arms above your head, and then exhale, hinging at your hip for Janushasana. Just allow your arms and your hands to fall wherever they do. Don't try to force this posture here. And just notice where you're tight. And just feel your breath as it moves through the tightness. Keep trying to draw your right knee towards the ground here. Opening your right hip. And with each inhale, try to bring your heart forward. And as you exhale, just hinge at your hips a little bit more. And inhale, slowly coming back up, one vertebrae at a time. Taking your hands to the front of your mat, tucking your left toes, and just pressing back to down dog. You might want to just walk the legs out a little bit here. Get some blood flow back into that right leg. You might want to bend and straighten it a few times and just have a little bit of movement. Then just bring both feet back to the floor, back into down dog. As you inhale, just bend both knees slightly. And exhale, taking your right heel to the floor, bending your left knee even more. And then inhale, left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. And exhale, bending your knee, pointing your toes, opening your hip. And inhale, straightening your leg, squaring off your hips. And exhale, coming forward for pigeon. So left knee to left wrist, left ankle to right wrist. And tucking your right toes, walking your right leg out, keeping your left ankle flexed here to protect your knee. Again, one side might be different to the other, so you're welcome to place some blocks or cushions underneath your left buttock or your left hip. And just get comfortable here. And take your hands as wide as the mat again, coming onto your fingertips for Hasta Bandha. As you inhale, just opening your chest, looking forward. And as you exhale, take your elbows wide. Your stomach, chest and chin come to the floor. And then inhale, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Elbows tucking in, chest and heart open as you look up. And then exhale, taking your elbows wide. Just rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, rolling up. Two more like this as you exhale, coming down. Inhale, rolling back up. Last one here, you exhale, lower. Inhale, rolling back up one vertebrae at a time. Now you're welcome to stay here if it's comfortable, or if you have more range, you're welcome to take your hands out in front. And just go as far as it is comfortable for you here. Again, one side might be different, so don't try to push or force. And then just lower down and just rest wherever is comfortable for you. Keeping your left ankle flexed here, protect that left knee. Drawing your left hip back, your right hip forward. You may notice more of a stretch in your left glute. And inhale, slowly coming back up. Rolling over onto your left buttocks now. Coming onto both sitting bones, your right leg's long. Bringing the sole of your left foot to your inner thigh. Make sure you're on both sitting bones here. And then inhale, take your arms above your head. And exhale, hinging at your hip. Over your right leg. Just allow your arms and hands to fall wherever they do. For Janushisasana. And again here with each breath. Just imagine your heart coming forward towards your foot. Then exhale, hinging at your hips. Keep trying to draw your left knee towards the ground, opening up your left hip. And just feel your breath as it fills up all the spaces that are tight. And as you exhale, just allow your body weight and gravity to allow you to sink into that space you have created. Keep your right toes pointing to the ground. Keep your right ankle flexed here, your toes point to the sky. The inhale, slowly coming back up. And taking your hands to the front of your mat, tucking your right toes and pressing back to down dog. Again, you might want to walk your feet out a little here. You can bend and straighten your left leg. Have some movement in your hip. Get some blood flowing back in that leg. Then bring both feet back to down dog. On your next inhale, bend both knees as you look forward and step to the front of your mat, as wide as your mat, and come into a yogi squat, Malasana. If you can't get both feet flat on the floor here, that's okay. You can stay up onto your tiptoes, and you're welcome to place blocks or cushions underneath your heels. Just go wherever your body allows, and bring your hands to your heart centre, and softly close down your eyes. Keep your legs active here, don't completely collapse. And pressing your palms in towards each other, drawing your shoulder blades together, opening your chest. And if it's comfortable, you can start to press your elbows into your knees, opening your hips a little bit more. Just a couple more breaths here. And on your next exhale, just come to a seated position and take your legs out long, both feet together, flexing both ankles, toes point to the sky. For Hashimotonasana, making sure we're on both sitting bones here. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, hinging at your hips. Just allowing your hands and your arms to fall wherever they do naturally. And it's the same as Janushisasana that we did. Each inhale, your spine lengthens, your heart comes forward. And then each exhale, you hinge at your hips a little bit further. Just feel your breath move through the tightness. And just notice that connection between your breath and your body. And how just using your breath, you can create space in your body to allow you to move into new positions, to stretch and strengthen a little bit more than you could before. And then inhale, slowly rolling back up one vertebrae at a time. Bringing the soles of your feet together here, about 2 hand lengths away from your groin. And you can feed your hands underneath your legs, holding on the tops of your feet. And just exhale, you can round your spine on this one. Just allow your head and your neck to become heavy for Uttanasana. Just inhale, slowly coming back up, keeping the soles of your feet together. Just bring them into your groin as far as it is comfortable for you. Still coming up onto both sitting bones. You might need to wiggle a little bit here. And taking your hands on the tops of your feet, your elbows tuck in, your shoulder blades draw together so your chest is nice and open. And then from here, before we fold, we'll try and use our legs and drive our feet towards each other. So we're pressing our feet into each other. And this will help to take our knees away from us and towards the ground. And you should feel a nice little opening in your hips now and your groin. And from here we will inhale, allow your spine to lengthen. And then exhale, just gently hinge at your hip. Try to keep your spine nice and straight here. Your neck is nice and long. It doesn't matter how far forward you bend here. And keep a nice posture, nice straight spine. And just allow your breath to lengthen your spine on your inhale. And then on your exhale, you may notice you can just hinge that a little bit further. Don't try to force or pull yourself in too close here. Just allow your breath to do the work, your body weight and gravity. And just inhale, slowly coming back up. Just bring your knees in, you can use your hands if you wish here. And you can take your legs out long. And we'll just come down to a lying down position. Bringing both knees into our chest, giving them a nice squeeze here. It's a gentle rock from side to side. Now take your right ankle on top of your left knee, flexing both feet here to protect your knees. And feed your right hand through the gap. You can grab the back of your thigh or your shin. And just gently here, with your breath, just slowly move your left knee towards your left armpit. And you should feel a nice stretch in your right glute, on the outside of your right thigh. For the reclined pigeon pose, Supta Kapotasana. And then just exhale, release. Switching legs now, left ankle on top of right thigh, flexing both knees again. Your left hand feeds through the gap, grabbing your right shin or the back of your right thigh. Yeah, one side might be tighter than the other, and that's okay. Don't try to force. Just allow your breath to do the work. Just keep trying to slowly move your right knee to your right armpit as you breathe. And then just exhale, just release. And we'll do Happy Baby at the end of the practice now. And we'll start off by just bringing both knees to our chest. You should feel your lower back on the floor. And before we go into the full Happy Baby, you take your hands on the inside of your legs. You can grab the inside of your feet or the outside, whatever's comfortable for you. I prefer the inside. So you're keeping your feet towards your buttocks here, and you should feel your lower back on the floor. But from here you can slowly start to bend or start to straighten even your legs towards the sky. and your lower back should stay connected. At any point if your lower back starts to lift off the ground, that's okay. Just move your feet back towards your buttocks a little bit, so your lower back is on the floor. And eventually over time, as you do this posture more often, you'll be able to get your feet parallel with the sky, with your lower back still on the floor. And wherever you're at in this posture, you're welcome just to gently sway from side to side. And keep trying to drive your knees towards your armpits, keeping your lower back on the floor. Then just exhale, release, bringing your knees into your chest one last time for a big squeeze. And grabbing the backs of your thighs, and we'll gently take a few rolls backwards and forwards along the spine before we come up to seated. Just a nice massage for the spine. Just wake the body up a little bit, and then come up to a seated position. You can softly close down your eyes. Bring your hands to heart center in Anjali Mudra. Just take some gratitude for this practice today, for your body, for your mind, and for this time to practice. Raising your hands to your head for kindness in your thoughts towards yourself and others. Hands to your heart for kindness in your actions. And hands to your lips for kindness in your words. From my heart to yours, Namaste. Awesome, my friends. I hope you enjoyed that practice today and you're feeling nice and open after that. Thanks for practicing with me, Jamie from True Nature.